Welcome to the Wrestling Circle podcast. My name is Cam. That's Mark.
Hey, y'all doing? Appreciate you joining in.
And on this episode, we're going to be speaking with PJ Savage. Go ahead and say hello.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me on the platform. Always appreciate it. Wrestling's still cool. Just got savage, baby.
Right. That's right.
That's
right
a
on,
dope
man.
inclination of
Yeah,
your name.
it is. That's right. That's the best intro we've had with someone.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a great intro. Yeah.
So, who trained you?
I got trained by WWE Hall of Fame and Johnny Rods down in Brooklyn, New York. I was training with him for about 4 years.
Mhm.
He trained guys like Taz, Devon, a lot of ECW originals. One of his most recent guys that he trained was Big Cass.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from that long line of history from the Northeast. So yeah, I was with him for about 4 years, and the way he trains is very different. Um, he doesn't let his guys do independence. It's almost like being with a small WWE company where like you sign with him, you can't go nowhere else because he doesn't want too many cooks in the kitchen. And I was with him for about 4 years, and I finally decided to take my career into my own hands and hit the independent scene. So yeah, that's why I got trained at Johnny Rods.
Nice.
Oh,
Now,
that's
you
cool.
said that you did a lot of the ECW originals, and I pulled up a small list of names. A lot of them I recognize. Now, does he specialize in like hardcore style, or is it just a weird coincidence he trained a lot of hardcore wrestlers?
Yeah, that's just a weird coincidence. The story that I heard behind that was Paul Heyman hit up Johnny about a promotion that he was working with called ECW. At the time, it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the first. That's the first way that was around.
yeah, and he needed guys, and Johnny was just known, especially throughout the Northeast. Johnny's been like a lifelong WWE guy. Um, he was doing things with the WWF, he's from
Wow.
old school era. Yeah, so he's got that long lineage, and Heyman tried to dip into that pool because he knew it was training guys, and Johnny just had a group of guys, and those group of guys ended up becoming ECW.
That's
Nice.
interesting. I saw a family picture of y'all on in the locker room with Big Cass and a different other different people on there on as a picture of y'all in the back of the locker room. I was like, that's pretty damn cool class. Y'all had Big Cass back in the background. I saw you and some ladies and other wrestlers, so that's cool.
Yeah, man. Johnny runs a great school down there. If you're a beginner, if you're trying to get into professional wrestling, that is the place to be. Like, uh, it's the closest thing in the Northeast you're gonna get to WWE because it's the style that he trains,
Yeah.
and he has a great way of teaching people there. If you're getting in and you're just learning, that's the place to be. When I was there, when that picture with Big Cass, that was like right before the pandemic hit, and things were going so good down
Oh
there. We
yeah.
had a weekly YouTube show, and things were just on and rolling, and the school was filling up. He doesn't even like to call it a school. He likes to call it a club. He doesn't like
Wow.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay,
he's
that's
as
cool.
old
Yeah.
school as it gets. Yep.
Now, what does he call the club down there? Or well, there in New York.
World. He calls it World of Unpredictable Wrestling. WUW. Yeah, that's what he calls it.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, a little ring name and a little ring to the name. That's cool.
Yeah,
Now, are
yeah.
you from New York?
Yeah, born and raised. I've spent my whole life down here. Right in the Manhattan area. I don't think
Really?
I left Manhattan once. I lived in Brooklyn for a little while. But yeah, I've been here my whole life.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I was actually supposed to be in Manhattan late 2019. Never was able to make it out there, but that's cool. That's a big area, Big
Oh man,
Apple.
it's huge. It's huge.
Now, I have to ask. A lot of promotions are running shows in Florida, actually this coming week because of WrestleMania. Are you making it down for WrestleMania?
No, I'm not making it down for WrestleMania. It's the way it works to get bookings and stuff like that. Those bookings are like in 6 months prior,
Right.
and I didn't decide to hit the independent scene until January. So once I hit, I was reaching out to a bunch of people, and some people even reached out to me. It was just too late to hit that Florida run for Mania. So it kind of worked out for the better. There's a lot of dates that kind of came across my plate this weekend and
Good.
upcoming, where I probably would have never took if I would have went down to Mania weekend, and so it definitely worked out. And it's about just grinding and building up the name now. So
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I
Working
had to
with
ask.
some. Good.
I said I had to ask because I'm down near Tampa, so I check out
Oh,
a
that would
show
have
if you're
been
playing it.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we both with the Super Bowl and now this. There's a lot of people down here right now.
I can only imagine. I'm actually planning on moving to Orlando within the next year. So
Oh, really?
Not a
yeah.
bad idea, especially with NXT being right around the corner.
Well,
And
yeah, it's definitely a career move. So
oh yeah,
it's focused on wrestling.
yeah.
That's
Between
awesome.
because WWE has NXT here, you actually have AEW in Jacksonville, which is it's not close, but it's not a bad hike from Orlando. So I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
more options that way.
Yeah, I always said it to like all the guys that I trained with and just rode the road with. If you want to be an actor, you go to Hollywood, and right now in wrestling, if you want to be a wrestler, you go to Florida. That's just
Yeah,
the lay of the land right now.
pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of the way it is. Yeah, it's you find small parts of entertainment or different parts in different areas, but that's your main ball games, and then what you just described.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like
So,
Texas. Texas is a hotbed. New York is a hotbed, and the Northwest is a hotbed. It just especially now during the pandemic, I'm lucky to be in the Northeast, and I get to go to Philly, and I get to go to Delaware, Baltimore,
mhm.
Maryland. I get to do the whole Northeast loop. I'm lucky to be here in Florida. If you're in Florida right now, I am so jealous.
uh, uh, Cam's in Tampa, Florida, Tampa Bay area, Florida. Me, I'm in East Tennessee.
Right.
Oh, Tennessee, nice.
Actually, you'd be surprised. You said Philly. The town that I live in is Philadelphia. So it
Oh
gets funny.
wow,
Yeah, I know.
that's awesome. That's
uh, that's yeah. I always get as I go out the road. Oh, I used to go out the road to myself. I do singing, and they always ask me where you from. I was like, oh, Philadelphia. He's like, that's where home is. They're like, you don't seem like you're from Philadelphia. No, not that Philadelphia. You don't
there
want
was
to
like
act.
there was
You know,
legitimately interaction between him and I, right? Because he came from this area when he moved up there, and I'm like, hey man, what town you in? Where you living out of now? He goes, oh, Philadelphia. I'm like, wait, I thought you said you were on the Tennessee. I am in Tennessee, but you said Philadelphia. He goes, there's a Philadelphia, Tennessee. Oh, okay.
oh man, yeah.
it's about 45 minutes away from Knoxville.
Oh,
So
okay.
it
Because
always catches
good
people
food
off
out
guard. Yeah.
So, besides Big Cass, which obviously based on the picture you interacted with, who are some named wrestlers that you've worked with in the past?
The biggest name I probably worked with was Bobby Lashley. I
Yeah, I
worked,
seen
Really?
yeah,
tag team
I
match.
worked
I
him
saw that.
right before he went back to WWE. I worked him on
Oh,
Independence.
So, was it a tag match or was it a singles match?
It was a tag match, but it was so the whole deal behind that was it was supposed to be a singles match. The person who was booking the show decided not to show up and they didn't know what was going on. So it ended up being a tag match, but me and Lashley kind of almost worked it as a singles match. But it was amazing, man, just to step into the ring with him. And my whole thing was so CM Punk had this in his documentary. He said when he worked Eddie Guerrero on the independent scene, it was his coming to moment where he was like he knew he could do this.
Mm,
And the moment I was told like a month or two that I was working him, and it was like I'm not gonna let this slip. So it
right.
was like a month or two of working out, being intense, and just going through the motions in my mind of all right, I'm gonna work Bobby Lashley, I'm gonna work Bobby Lashley. And at this time, no one even knew he was going back to WWE. I didn't know. And I remember the day that he showed up to the arena. He goes, "Hey, who's this Savage kid?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Lashley, that's me. That'll be me."
Hmm.
oh
Um,
wow, that's cool.
it was just like going through the motions with him, going over a match, and just being in there with him. And one of the things I wanted to do and get my point across was I wanted to make him feel me. It wasn't even about the crowd at that moment. It was like I want to make this man feel my presence. And if you go and watch that match on YouTube, you see the whole time when he comes out. The moment he comes out the curtain, I put my eyes on his eyes, and we don't take our eyes off each other until he steps into the middle of the ring and we go face to face and have a face off. So I think it's pretty safe to say I made that man film me that match, and it was awesome. I got speared through a barricade, but it was still awesome.
Dang, that is cool as can be, man. I saw parts of that on your one of your videos. I'm like, man, that is cool, man. And yeah, that sounds like intense story. That's just like eyes to eyes, trying to make that impression. That's cool.
Yeah, and when we was in the locker room, I found out he was going back to WWE, so I was kind of like his last stop, and it was like, oh, it's a cool feeling, and then just to be in that ring with him, be eyes to eyes with him, knowing he's going back to the place that I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was just awesome.
It's a good feeling.
Did you guys talk in the locker room after the match?
Yeah, he was one of the most awesome people. He loved my energy, and that was like what I wanted to get across, like I just said. And he was so cool. He was so down to earth. We exchanged numbers and talked for at least an hour after the match.
That's
And
awesome.
giving me advice
That's
and
cool.
telling me what was good that I did, what can I improve on. He's been awesome. Bobby Lashley is, and he's the WWE champion now, which is pretty cool to say now.
I never thought before he came back to WWE, I never thought that he would actually get the big title, and it was nothing against Lashley at all. It was just more or less it's lack of confidence in that WWE was going to be able to work with him the proper way. It was a great move that they put him back with MVP, basically what he did on Impact, and it's helped him tremendously. And
yeah, absolutely.
As it once he got with him, it was so awesome. Like the change in his character, you could see the intensity, and me and my friends always joke around. He like steals all my stuff.
well,
that is I do the full Nelson finish, and he started to do that whole full Nelson lock, and then the other thing that I was doing was the running knee, and for a little while he was doing that too. So a lot of things where I was doing them, and then all of a sudden watching Monday Night Raw, and it was like, oh, that's the stuff that I do.
Right.
That impression in there.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't even remember anything, but it just to see it from my end, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And then here's the kicker: when he started doing the full Nelson, I'm like, man, has he been watching Chris Master tape? Like,
oh man.
Yeah, because the similarities between, but it's cool to hear that he was gracious enough to talk to you after the locker room, because that's one that leaves you with a positive impression, but it also shows that he's like, I want to help the next people are going to come through, and that's a good thing to hear about Bobby.
Yeah, man, him and another guy I gotta say was really cool was Willie Mack. I worked him.
Willie Mack is so cool watching on Impact.
He's such an amazing person, and I worked him. I think it was 2018, and it was he's the funniest guy. He made me feel calm throughout the whole process. He's back there. I've never seen a man call a match the way he does, dancing and just joking around the whole time. Willie Mack, huge shout out to Willie Mack. He was a big help to me, and he was a dope person to be around too.
I can see that. Awesome. He just has that personality on TV too, just the way he kind of carries himself. Just kind of cool dude. I've seen his segment he had this past week on Impact with Don Callis. I thought it was started off kind of funny. But he sit down there and he just looking at his talking to him. He says, "So what's that there?" He grabs a can of Skull. He's like, "You got a little dipstick." He opens it up, smells it, and like Willie's like, "What are you doing?" That was funny. Does he actually do it, or is that just some kind of like prop can they had?
Oh no, I think he actually does it.
Oh, okay. I was just interested. Some people do or don't. I just didn't know. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, no judgment there. Now you said your finishes are running knee and the full Nelson, right?
Yeah, those are my two finishes. I've used mostly just the full Nelson finish throughout my whole career.
Now, what made you go with the full Nelson?
Funny story about that is my first time I ever wrestled.